Welcome to Atlanta Tarot. This is the tarot forecast for Aquarius for August 2022. So we're in the sign of Leo, your polar opposite sign Aquarius. The element is fire, so expect a lot of action and forward movement. And we're in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. The energy is the hanging man, so just going with the flow for the next couple of weeks, Aquarius, with all spotlight on relationships of all kinds, intimate, friends, all sorts of relationships are going to be under the spotlight this time for you. So let's see what the story is. The hanging man, going with the flow, sacrifice. Where you are right now, we have the moon, so very much an unknown quantity, the moon. You don't really whatever's going on is very much obscured by clouds or fog, or it's not clear basically. So we're thinking in terms of hanging man going with the flow and the moon. Also a time of intuition, lots of nighttime activity obviously with the moon, so there's lots of dreams coming through with messages perhaps for you, all that kind of unknown territory. So use that intuition and just be prepared to just go along with whatever's happening without trying to decipher what it all means yet. Especially in relationships, there are things within them that aren't really clear yet, Aquarius. Let's see what's influencing that and the rest of the reading. And we have the 5 of Wands, so you may be feeling a bit held back this whole 4 weeks, and especially with the moon there too. Don't be expecting things to be clear. Like I said before, just you may feel a bit held back at work or in relationships itself, but that's all fine. You just have to see what's going to, just take it easy and just don't expect big outcomes at the moment. It's just not the right time, Aquarius, okay? With relationships especially. Let's now have a look at the background. So we're looking at June, July here, so still having effect and influence now. We have the King of Wands, so this very strong male figure, very much a figure, fire sign type of person too, very creative, very much a leader, very much a person that comes and goes. They work, I don't know, they might work somewhere, might be fly in, fly out person, something like that. So that goes well with the fact that we are in Leo too. So whoever this male figure is, or this energy of this King of Wands, is still very much, he's probably the key to what's going on here with relationships this month. Let's have a look at recent influences. And we have another male figure of the King of Cups. So this king here is, I call him the frozen king. There's something frozen emotionally inside this man, or inside this energy, and maybe with you as well, about relationships, Aquarius. So it's about sort of thawing out that freeze, if you know what I mean. And very much that is sort of, it's held back. It's almost like just see where that takes you. Quite interesting. So this person may be one and the same. They're very much outwardly coming out as this leader and this confident sort of energy mover and shaker, but then deep on the inside it's a different story. There's something there that's frozen, especially because you are in the house of relationships, the 7th house. Very interesting. Let's see what you're supposed to be learning, or you will be learning, in this next 4 weeks. And we have the Chariot, so it's about emotional discipline. just going with the flow, just sort of also disciplining yourself emotionally, especially when we've got this fire and water sort of energy here with this male sort of figure. It's sort of a bit of a ride, it's a bit of a journey really with the Chariot to kind of say, okay, well, let's sort of just be a bit more emotionally disciplined this month. Don't be throwing all your, you know, chips into the one basket, or the eggs in one basket. It's teaching you that resilience of emotional discipline. Big cards so far. Okay, let's move in and on to near influences, near future. And we have the 5 of Swords. Just be careful with gossipy types, people sort of, you know, sort of in a way butting in to tell you how to do things. It's not a time for that at all, as I've said with the Hanging Man here. It's about going with the flow. You don't really need to consult others at this time to, which you may want to do because things seem a bit cloudy with the moon, but just refrain from that actually this next 4 weeks, Aquarius. Just try and keep your own counsel a bit. Don't be asking, because people will only tell you what they would do, and it's not about them. This is about you and your relationships. And, you know, the propensity to go asking, oh, what do you think? Or, you know, you'll get conflicting opinions or points of view, and it won't serve you well. If you can remember that. Let's have a look at what's happening that you're not realising. Always the key to the reading is number 7 here. And we have the Empress, so we have all about, once again, it's about discipline, hard work, strategy. It's almost like with relationships as well, in the frame, the Emperor comes up when we sort of really have to, and it's a father card too, so the female Aquarians or the male Aquarians, just as much, it can be all about that sort of father figure, that discipline, that strategy, you know, what, asking yourself what this, or what your relationships are actually doing, and what they reflect about you, the choices you make in relationships as well. And for longevity, we really have to discipline, have strategy about it. Take your time about it too. There's no need to be in a rush at the moment, Aquarius. Just go with the flow and see what's coming up, because there's some interesting facets here, especially with the Emperor. And it can be a very controlling energy as well, the Emperor, because he is the top, in the tarot, he's the top man, if you like. So can often come across as controlling, because he has indeed, you know, mastered whatever his, you know, reason for being in life is. It's like a father card as well, but that sort of male type of person. Okay, how others see you. The World, so the end of a cycle, sort of having wrapped up one cycle, new, so the ending of something, and then in turn, of course, that will herald a new beginning coming in with the World. It's a lovely card actually, to know that you have indeed created or finished a cycle, and now you're ready for the next one. So you may be on the verge of new journeys, new opportunities coming in. Once again, we don't really know with the moon sitting in any reading. It always asks you or tells you things won't be clear just yet. So it's about just waiting to see what's coming to replace this cycle that you're ending up in now. Positive feelings, what you're feeling positive about. And we have the 8 of Coins, so very much finishing off things, you know, maybe study. You're doing study as a mature age person, you're finishing that up. That is really sort of in the focus this month with whatever else you're doing, especially with this World here. There could be something that you just need to finish off, and it's going to be very sort of beneficial for you for the rest of, or for the next stage of your life. So it's about you know, putting a lot of energy into that Eight of Coins. It is the Master's Apprentice. So it's a good card. It's something that you really need to sort of remember. This is going to hold you in good stead later on, this Eight of Coins card. So it could be something that you're studying for in a more mature age of yourself, and something that's really going to bring you a lot of kudos later on. So remember that also is a focus. And yeah, of course, at the moment it's still not, we haven't got to the end of it, but just keep on keeping on there, Aquarius. Okay, last but not least is the future outcome. And we have the Ten of Cups, so very much a finishing a relationship card as well, family card, where you come from, your origins with your emotions, how that's played out for you, especially with the father sitting down here in what's happening, you're not realising. It can be a bit of a facade too, as we all know. We can sort of always make up, you know, say, oh yes, my family was this, it was that, it was a very happy family. Of course, there's lots of happiness with families, but there's also lots of other business that goes on. But it's about how we sort of couch that to others, and it's sort of because it's relationships this month, Aquarius, it's all about what's really going on in your relationships. And hopefully by the time we cross over into Virgo, the third week of August, that may have settled, or you may have settled that a little bit for yourself. But the Ten of Cups is definitely the sort of end of the cycle of emotions. Okay, your message is wisdom. Know well what leads you forward and what holds you back, and choose the path that leads to wisdom. Very nice cards. Thank you for listening. We'll talk in a month's time.